how that turned out. So cut the ends off all the way along there. You can see I scribbled the end there. And then these ends up here. Then the legs are done. Except for routering and sanding and gluing onto the hip. Wow, that's actually impressive. I don't know if you can see it, but there's hardly, like I lined up almost perfectly. That never happened. Wow. Huh. I don't think in my entire life's history of cutting big boards like that or big timbers like that and doing the halfway this way, halfway that way, I've ever had so many square cuts where they lined up perfectly. That is kind of mind-boggling, so I'm quite impressed. Okay, sanding and glue up today. The sanding I'm going to be doing inside, warm outside. I don't really like sitting out in the sun sanding anything. I don't like doing it inside either because of the amount of dust. But hey, what are you gonna do? So I'm gonna go with 120 to 220, and that should be good enough. And then we'll do the glue up. Okay, got the glue up ready to go. As most of you know by now, they are not my favorite thing. This is kind of where everything comes together, either good or bad. It's just a royal pain, but I think I've got it set up this time quite well. Got the blocks there at the bottom, at each end. The clamps are set up for the proper distance. So, here goes. Okay, well. Why is that? Yeah, pretty sure I messed that up. But might not be salvageable. Okay, some quick calculations. I think it's actually gonna work out. I don't know what I did wrong exactly, but I obviously did something not quite right. This should be another 1 3/4 wider. And I think I cut this too short for some reason or another. Too narrow. Or short, I guess. Just means that when I actually mount the brackets on here for the bed frame, yeah, I did another mistake here too. This is supposed to be flipped around. Not the end of the world. This is just this side, the nicer looking side, which is out or facing in, but I wanted it on the outside, so it's what you see when you come in. Not the end of the world. Suppose that's why you dry fit this stuff before you just go and glue it all up and get it done. Although mind you, what else was I going to do? Even if I did, I'd probably be coming up to the same conclusion of this. Yeah, that's the shocker. Okay, I'm okay with that. It'll be fine. It's gonna have to be. Got no choice. I'm not redoing it. But man, how annoying. So lesson learned. Actually, it's not learned. I've done this before, and I'm gonna do it again, guaranteed. To save yourself some grief and trouble, though, don't do this. Dry fit first. Okay, so I got the footboard all done. It's glued. It's finished. I'm going to show it after. What I'm going to do now is do the headboard. I have measured this one, and everything is going to be good and the proper measurements. I'll go over at the end of the video kind of what happened to the footboard there and what I did wrong. Anyways, we'll get to the glue up with the headboard. Awesome. That's actually the way it's supposed to be, so that turned out really well. Best part is I don't even have anything sticking up this side, so it's not going to look, I have a bit of glue coming out here now. That's okay though. So that should all be perfect now. That's good, just let that set up and it'll be good to go. Nice. Okay, everything's glued up. Just gonna try to, or not try to, I'm gonna get this piece to fit into here. So it's gonna cut that down and glue it in place. I'm also gonna be routing off the two side boards. And this piece here, I'm gonna be cutting down to length and routing, that goes along the top of the headboard. So, you can tell, there's a bit of a lip on there, so I'll have to figure out something. It's the same across, all the way across. So it's not too concerned. At least it's even. So I'll have to figure out something on how to get that off without making it look really ugly. So that's where we're at. So I'm going to be routing the corners off, making all this around. Want to make sure I'm getting the right ones just to round off the edge just a tiny bit. And that's why I'm marking them. Because I will forget or I'll do the wrong one. So I've got a line drawn across there, straight edge, and the only way I could really think of to do that easily and get it level is with that. Might not be the smartest idea, But again, I'm not really known for smart ideas, but it's about the easiest way that I can think of to get that down and fairly level. So I'm gonna try that. Okay, just gonna glue this piece in place right here. So good. Okay, so I've got everything ready for the glue up on the headboard. It's going to be a little bit more difficult than the footboard because it's heavier and awkward. So this is what I've got. So that's a piece that's going on top. As you can see, I've scored it here. Just so there's something for the glue to grab onto. And this is the line where it's going to get the headboard, so that's scored too, as well as that other end. And then on top of the headboard, I scored the headboard here as well for the same reason. This is already rough from the sanding, so that's going to stick well. And then this here. So yeah, it's going to be heavy and awkward. It should be okay. That headboard has a curve in it, so I'm going to be trying to get that straight. Going to be a bit of a pain, but it should be okay. Okay, well that's about it. I got all the semi-hard glue there scraped off, so it's looking not too bad. So yeah, nothing too crazy. Leave it for overnight and let it cure. Take the clumps off, and hopefully we'll a little bit of sanding, and that'll be done for that piece now besides staining. Okay, I'm going to finish the rotering off on the footboard. It's going to be unconventional how I'm going to do it. I don't have a small handheld router. If I did, it would make it a lot easier, but I don't. So this is how I'm going to do it. You might be wondering, well, why didn't I do it beforehand? Because I wasn't sure how everything was going to turn out, so I didn't want to go and router the edges and corners off. I was just going to have to make changes to it after. So now that I know that this is the layout that I want, the way it's going to work this way, I'm okay with it. But again, this is kind of going to be unconventional, and I don't know, hopefully it works out. I'm hopeful. Well, wasn't amazing. Those burn marks are painful. You got some dips here where it's a little bit ugly. For the most part, it actually turned out pretty good. I'll be able to sand that out. That's not a big deal. So all in all, pretty happy with that. Okay, another mistake I just discovered. So I'm just looking at putting the little boards on the bottom of the sideboards that hold the slats in place and hold the mattress. What I did, this is the inside. This is the inside facing in. This here goes on top. What I meant to do, and what I should have done, was not rounded this one corner, but I rounded all four. Not a big deal, but it's just, something that's gonna just be annoying. So that's gonna have to sit in there, and it'll probably be up a little bit so it doesn't have that roll on it. Just have to nail it or screw it through the top rather than down the bottom. Sure, it'll be fine, but it's one more thing. And anyway, not detrimental. Hopefully that's the worst of it. Should be, because I think I'm pretty much at the end, just putting everything together. So hopefully that'll be it. Okay, so I got everything cut to length. Just gonna drill a pile of holes in all these pieces and then glue them on. Okay, so I've got this block here. So that way I'll know it's at the exact bottom. I'll tighten up against there like this here. Glue it in place and screw it in place. Typical. See, and that's where you go wrong. One's turned the wrong way. Well, nobody will ever know, but I will. Ah. Ah. Blue everywhere, of course, now. Frustrating. Okay, minor setback. Annoying setback though. Okay, so that's done as usual. Not smooth, got a little hiccup there, nothing major, never be seen. Just a personal thing that drives me nuts every time something like that happens. But that part is done, so now we're gonna do the unveiling of the headboard. And then I think we can do the final sanding on everything. So that's where we're at today. Okay, sanding, more sanding. So I'm going to 120 to 220. Headboard is done. I'm done with the headboard. Next step's going to be the staining part. Just the rails now and the footboard. So 120 to 220 and stain. So that's almost done. What I got to do though, those there little corners, and you can see the bottom there a little bit right in here. So I got the Dremel. One of these little things, the Drum Sander 240 Drip. So I'm going to be using that to get in here. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. Okay, so I'm set up here to do the staining. I'm going to do a pre-stain and then the regular stain. I've worked with the birch before and done the stain. The pre-stain just helps it from being blotchy. So it worked out really well the last time. I'm going to do it this time. I'm going to do it in stages. The staining, I'm going to do the rails, the headboard, and then the footboard. Just because I think it actually is too much to try to do all three of those things at once. So, and it's going to be painful and it's going to suck, but anyway, here we go. Okay, let the fun begin. And I really don't mean fun. Okay, pre-stain is done. Just going to let it sit for a bit. It says to apply the actual stain within a couple hours. I'm not going to wait terribly long. Okay, it's been about 15 minutes. I don't want to wait terribly long before I start this. I want to keep everything the same, and I plan on doing that throughout. So 15 minutes, 10, 15. So I'm going to start with the actual stain. Okay, so that sat for, this one sat for a while. I don't want it to get a whole lot darker. By the time I'm done this one, that one will sat for about the same amount of time. So here goes the finale. Okay, well that's it. That's one coat. I don't know if I'm gonna do another one. I don't honestly know how I feel about how that looks. Maybe it's a second coat. Maybe that's what it needs. I don't know. For now, we're gonna leave it and let it cure for a bit. I have time to put another coat on if I want, so we'll just see. So start with the footboard. Also, my daughter said that the stain looks good the way it is. Don't do a second coat. So that made me happier. Okay, that actually looks better than the side rails, in my opinion. That's this side, which will be the inside, and then got the outside. This stuff is kind of painful for one reason. You can't see 100% where it went on. The other thing is, because this piece is a little bit bigger, I don't want it to get soaked too long before I put on the final stain, so it's just a pain. Okay, I think that's okay. I did the front part. I'm gonna let the back just soak for a little bit longer, and the sides. This is how it's facing out anyway, so that's the most important one to me. And then should be good. Okay, well that's it for the night. Turned out pretty good. I'm actually quite happy with it. So that's going to be the headboard. This is the side facing out. So it's actually pretty decent. Looks better than I thought it would. And let's go around to the back, show you the back part. Which in itself doesn't look that bad either as well. So staining complete. Okay, I'm gonna make the center support for the bed now. What I'm gonna do is take a 1x4, rip it down the middle, and then laminate it together so it'll basically end up being 1.5 by 1.5. That's it. Let that cure and then we're good. Probably gonna find this hard to believe, but I messed up. And wouldn't be as bad, but this is exactly what I did the last time, and I'll show you. So these are the brackets that I have that I ordered, and they're the same ones I used before. Now, in order for these to mount, they have to go. It basically goes. This is on the headboard. This is on the rail. Goes in and then locks down. Pretty straightforward. This is the exact length, this rail. So it has to sit on the headboard like this, and this goes on like this. Problem is, the support for the guides, or for the slats, goes right to the end. So this has to go over here. Like so, because this mounts flush, and in order for this to go flush, in order for this piece to line up with here, I have to cut a bunch off here, like 1.5 inches or whatever, that's going to be 2 inches. And of course, that's a pain, because to try to cut this little section off and not gouge up any of the wood that's already finished and done is not going to be, it's a pain. I did it last time. I did this same friggin' thing again. Shocker. So anyways, that's what I have to do now off of both rails. So I tape this up so that when this here inevitably hits us, hopefully it just gets the tape. Not a huge deal, because this won't even be seen, it'll be covered up. Still don't like it though. And I'm using a hacksaw because the teeth are finer, it's not going to rip and tear as much, and it'll be a little more control when I'm trying to cut through this. So let's see. Luckily I glued that, so now it's really nice and tight and really strong on there. It's perfect. Moment of truth, is this actually going to fit in there the way I... Oh, look at that. Perfect, lots of room. Good. I'll just have to restain this a little bit. No problem. Ah! Oh, that sucks. Ah, oh, come on. So that's what happened. I'm gonna have to see if I can maybe somehow get this part off. Glue it in there. Ah, pain. Okay, so now I could take this piece, glue it in there, and then just sand that off after. Got it again with that little gouge on there, so that worked out. Yeah, that'll be good. Let that cure. And we're okay, hopefully. And that'll be good, I think. Not exactly amazing, but could have been a whole lot worse. And besides, the brackets will cover up a lot of that anyways. Hell. So I'm working out how to install, or where to install these mounting brackets, and I've made 2 of these beds already, and this has been a pain every time. And again, it's one of those things that I don't want to mess up, because it's kind of a one-shot deal. I mean, you can always fix it after, and I mean, I know you can't probably see a lot of the mistakes that are made, but that being said, it's better to do it right the first time than to have to redo it. So it's just a pain for me to measure all this stuff out, and that's what I'm doing. So I'm going to document this. It's going to probably fast forward through a bunch of it. This is what I've got laid out now. So that's the height of the bottom of the bracket where that's going to go. Did at the footboard end as well. And that's have to measure where to put the bracket on the inside of here, which shouldn't be that big of a deal. And probably isn't that big of a deal, but because it's me and I've made mistakes and the same ones over, always nervous about this part and doing it and making it right. So anyways, here we go. And then I got to make sure I mount the right brackets in the right spots. So yeah, that'll be exciting as well. And make sure I don't do that wrong, because surprisingly, I have done that. Put the wrong brackets in the wrong ends. And then they're upside down, and that obviously won't work. Okay, so these are measured out both the same way at each end. So that bracket there goes at that end, but I'll show you this end. So the bracket has to go into here. The thickness of the rail is 1 inch, so that's the 1 inch gap between here and here. And then that will go down. This here, bottom of the bracket is to the 6 inch mark, which is where I want it. Then that goes in like that, and that'll be 1 inch. And that's going to be perfect, I hope. Now the difference is, now the main thing I got to do is make sure that this distance between here and the other end is 60 plus inches. Really hope it is, because I made that little goof up where I made this too narrow. I think it's going to be okay. I'll find out right away. Should be 60 Oh, beauty. Lots of room. So that's, I put it at the 2-inch mark down there, so we're 60, and basically 3/4 of an inch, which is perfect. I wanted it to be 60 and a half, so that's actually gonna work out perfect. I'll just measure the same at the other end. Good, okay, well that makes me a little happier now knowing that that's where it's gonna be. But I think this is it. I just gotta put these in, do the pilot holes, and then actually mount them on. Woo! 60 and 5/8. Beauty. Good. Okay, moment of truth. Start drilling holes. Okay, headboard, footboard mounting brackets are done. Just need to do the rails now. The rails are much easier, and I'll show you why. All I have to do here, that's why I have the T-square on here. This here just pushes up against the edge, that way I know that will go as far as that, which is as far as I need it to go. And then this bottom part just matches up the bottom of here. And then that's it. Of course, you don't want to go super deep, so I'm going to actually just mark that with some tape. So that is it. The mounting hardware is done. I don't have anything else to do with mounting hardware. Next part is putting it all together. Now, it should be good, unless I've made some gross miscalculation on my measurements, which is entirely possible. Even now, second guessing a couple things I've done. We're gonna find out soon enough though, and hopefully it all goes together fine. Okay, moment of truth, gonna put these rails on, set it all up, and hopefully everything fits. Wow. That's it? Huh. Impressive, it actually fits. It actually looks pretty decent too. I'm gonna just do the support slats and then the support piece in the middle, and I think that'll be it. Just gonna get the slats put in on the bed and the center support, and that will be it, we'll be done. So I got it kind of laid out here. You can see how that's gonna go. You'll get a better picture as I go along. One short. Okay, so that's it. They're all ready to go. So that is the slats. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna get the center support and install that. How we're looking at the slats now, or how I just filmed that, I'm gonna flip them around upside down. It just makes it easier this way to mount, and both on my center support, so that's next. Okay. Okay, so that would be good. So I marked it so I know which way it goes where. Just gonna take this off, flip it around. You can also take these staples and pound them down so that they're nice and flush, because stapler doesn't go all the way in, there's too much flex here, so gonna get that. That's good there. What I got now is I got this here piece, the support. I've got my legs here. I've got 3 of them. So I'll mount these on here. As you can see, it's a little bit wider. Not a big deal. I'm just gonna pilot hole them in. So I think trying to get those would be a little bit difficult. Yeah, maybe I'll try it anyways, I don't know. I'll see if this actually works. Set these up and get her installed. So there's the finished product. All of it is done. Wish I had a little more room to kind of show you the whole thing and showcase it a little better, but I don't. So all in all, I'm quite happy with the build. It actually turned out pretty good. I like the color, I like the way the stain went. The finish is good on it. So I am quite happy with this. Actually better than I thought it was going to be when it first started, just because, you know, some of the boards were twisted, just, you know, typical things. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and if you like this, you know, leave comments and, you know, consider subscribing if you're interested, and we will see you on the next one.